Hi, look what I just got in the mail. Well, not the mail, the delivery. Words of My Perfect Teacher, and it's been suggested to me by Lama Choga, who is the Lama. You can see him on YouTube. Just look up the theory of samsara. And he is leading a group or teaching a group of us online. It's a pretty small group, but still, I'm so grateful for online teachings because of my physical disability. It makes it hard for me to get out. So even if I can get out, I have a consequence, right? But online, it's perfect. So he suggested that we read this book. It is and what we are studying with Lama Choga is the another foundational text. So I'm excited. So I've got two foundational texts now, which I won't be reading aloud because I'm just studying them and learning, and I'm not ready to read them aloud. Plus, there are rules about it. So, um, to be sure that the Dharma doesn't get misunderstood, it's important to have understanding with the words themselves. And so, just having the words without an interaction with a teacher who's been taught themselves is not enough, and can distort. The understanding can become distorted, right? So, oh, why are there so many things around here? There's like a mini spider. Thank you, goodbye. There's something else in the background. Okay. All right. Refocusing. What I wanted to talk about today was just a little bit more about the. So we talked about right speech. Um, I didn't really talk about right conduct, but I talked about the components of it earlier, which was not killing and not stealing, and also chastity, which I'm only going to talk about at the very, very end because Western culture is very much both sex obsessed and sex repulsed, right? So let's save that for the end. And what I am going to talk about is the mental aspects. So, body, speech, and mind. If you can just remember those three things, right? With the body, we do actions. With our speech, we do actions, right? And every action accumulates karma, both positive, negative, or neutral, right? And then there are the mental actions, mind. And so, the things to be cautious about mentally are coveting and malicious thoughts and wrong view. So today we're talking about coveting, and that usually goes hand in hand with not stealing, right? So not coveting is the mental aspect of that. Not coveting sounds very Christian, doesn't it? Right? It has to do with desire out of control, wanting and grasping for what is not ours already. And what is ours? When you really, really come down to it and think about it, what belongs to us? Does our body belong to us? In Western culture, we would say yes, but can we take it with us when we are dead? No. So it's really just borrowed, or it's a vehicle, right? It's a belonging for a temporary time. Um, does our awareness belong to us? Something to think about. Where does it come from? How does it arise? Does it continue? Is it permanent? When everything is impermanent, you can't say that our awareness is permanent either, right? But when we get down to daily life, wanting to meet our needs to stay alive is one thing. But there's always a line that gets crossed at some point when our needs are met, right? At a very basic level, when our needs are met and we still want love, we want connection, we want entertainment, we want things, we want wealth, we want to be secure for the future, so we want more and more wealth. So when we start to think about wanting and desire, it can get confusing. Where is the line between what we absolutely need to survive and what we want? And so I think for each individual person, that is worth looking at. I think that every person is going to have a different baseline of need. I personally want a lot of stuff. As you can see, I'm surrounded by stuff, like right now. Stuff. There's stuff everywhere. I want to be recognized and noticed, which is why partially, it's not the main reason, but it's there, that I'm not shy to put myself on YouTube, right? Because that's something that I desire, is to be noticed and to be listened to. What happens when we don't get what we want is most of the time we do sour grapes, right? The story of the fox and the grapes, and he saw the grapes hanging and he wanted them. He was hungry, he needed them, right? Whether it was a need or a want, in any case, he did everything in his power to get the grapes, and he couldn't. And so when he finally had to abandon and renounce those grapes, he said, they're sour anyway, to make himself feel better, right? That's a lie. He wanted those grapes. They were sweet just a second ago. As soon as he decides he can't have them, he can't get them, all of a sudden the grapes turn sour, right? So that's a simple example, but we do this all the time. I want this thing, I want it so bad. Oh, it's too expensive, I can't have it. They're not that good anyway. What would happen if we were like, that thing is so amazing and I don't have it and I really want it, but I can't have it? What would the feeling be? It's painful. It's suffering. So seeing things realistically in the first place helps reduce our attachment, our grasping, and our craving. Seeing things as they are, rather than building them up to be such an amazing thing, right? I think this is part of the reason why my stepfather is able to eat oatmeal every morning for breakfast without fail, every single morning. Plain, disgusting, glutinous oatmeal. He's feeding his body what it needs. It's oatmeal. It's food. It's good for you. He eats it. He doesn't build up in his mind that his breakfast has to be tasty. He doesn't build up in his mind that it's revolting because of its texture, which personally I find it's a little gross, right? He just eats his oatmeal. It's not a big deal. And actually, if we can take that attitude towards things that we desire so much, that it's actually not such a big deal, not sour graping them, but being like, this is what it is, right? I can make just enough money to cover my bills. I have just enough bills to fulfill my physical needs. Heat, or air conditioning, water, light, that kind of thing. Okay, what do we really need? It's a lot less than we think. And what do we need to be happy? Well, it's another topic. Okay, so right now I'm thinking about what I want for my birthday. And I covet these art supplies. They're called Inktense ink blocks, and they're by Derwent, and they're super expensive. And I imagine all of these wonderful things that I could do with these ink sticks. Meanwhile, I have the same brand of Inktense pencils, right, in all 7 basic colors, from which I can make any other color, right? And have I used them? Not so much. So, what should I spend my birthday money on? Maybe I should give it away. I don't need the intense box. I really don't. All right, that's enough for me now. And I hope I've given you something to think about. And go easy on yourself.